The Vox Markets Podcast with Justin Waite. Nothing in this podcast is intended as investment advice, and the people in this podcast may hold positions in the stocks they talk about. Do not buy anything based solely on a tip or recommendation. Please do your own research.
And joining me on the podcast right now is Andrew Knott, CEO of Savannah Energy, SAVE's ticker there. Andrew, thanks for joining me.
Good morning, Justin. How are you?
Yeah, good. And, Monday morning, good to get some positive news out. You've signed a new gas sales agreement signed with Central Horizon Gas Company. We'll talk about that in a bit. As always, though, Andrew, different parts of the business, just for people not familiar, go through, if you could summarise what Savannah Energy is all about, please.
Yeah, so Savannah is a British African-focused independent energy company. We're very focused around delivering projects that matter, that make a material difference in the countries in which we operate. We're currently active in 4 West and Central African countries: Niger, Nigeria, Chad and Cameroon. In Niger, we have 5 oil discoveries which we're in the process of commencing the development of. In Nigeria, we have Niger, a very large prospect bank of additional potential exploration prospects to target. In Nigeria, we're connected to up to 15% of the country's geothermal power supply, and we reliably supply gas on that basis. And then in Chad and Cameroon, we've announced acquisitions of a significant portion of midstream and upstream assets just before Christmas. Yes. All of those projects are, we believe, material to the countries in which we operate. And I think we've had tremendous success in terms of moving these projects forward. Excellent. So that's Savannah in a nutshell.
Yeah, absolutely. So take us through today's news then, Andrew, the details of this new gas sales agreement with Central Horizon Gas Company, if you could.
Okay, so Central Horizon is a subsidiary of Excella, which itself is a company majority owned by Helios Investment Partners, which is a UK-based African-focused private equity firm. Mm-hmm. Active in gas supply and distribution in southeast and southwest Nigeria. The initial contract is for just under 1,000 barrels of oil equivalent per day, 5 million standard cubic feet of gas per day. The pricing is attractive, and it just shows another incremental step forward in the development of our Nigerian gas business, which we've completely transformed now since we acquired it. Production's up materially, revenues have almost doubled on a prospective basis. Cash collections is a similar story. So we've really made a very significant, a series of very significant improvements in that business, and this is just another part of that story. One of several gas contracts that I hope we'll be able to talk about in the coming period, coupled with elsewhere in the business or other businesses, there's significant expected news flow in all of them. So yeah, it's a very exciting time for Savannah.
And just on this is what at the moment it's a 1 year but extendable agreement. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's a new customer. We bring on a new customer. We have an initial 1 year deal, but assuming that the contract works to both parties' satisfaction, I think I would expect it to be extended, and I would expect it probably to be extended for additional volumes. But the first year is really a trial to see how and the first step in building our relationship. Excella is a very good company, and we're very happy to be their partner.
Yeah. And when is first sort of gas sales expected to commence then, Andrew?
About 12 months' time. Okay. There's the Excella need to make some investments to enable them to take our gas, which they will do. But the expected period is about 12 months for that to happen.
Yeah. And you mentioned news flow coming up. Generally, in what areas can investors expect to hear this?
So in Nigeria, we expect to have an update on the refinancing process, which is a very significant event for our business. Mm-hmm. Completely transforms our Nigerian business's financial framework. Yeah. In Niger, we expect to be able to talk about the redevelopment, the development of that project and progressing the Niger project towards first oil. In Chad and Cameroon, to update on progress that we're making in terms of as we work towards closing out the acquisition of interest in Chad and Cameroon. And then there's the strong potential for us to be able to do other deals with the same sort of accretive characteristics of the Nigerian acquisition that we did and the Chad Cameroon acquisition. We really are in a special place in time for the global energy industry, and it creates a lot of opportunity for companies such as Savannah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That have very strong established operating infrastructure, access to capital, and an employee base which really cares passionately about trying to develop its asset base, trying to develop the company for the benefit of our stakeholders.
Yeah, marvellous stuff. Well, you know the score, Andrew. If you could give us 3 quick reasons why someone should hit that follow button on your page and add Savannah Energy to their watch list on Vox, please.
So I think the first reason would be we're a unique company with a very well-defined portfolio of high-quality assets that generates a lot of cash, but also has a lot of upside. The second reason would be the organic upside we have in our asset base. So I've talked extensively, and there's a lot of information on our website about the operational and financial gearing to new customer awards in Nigeria and the very strong position we have in Nigeria as that country industrialises and demand for gas continues to increase, and we provide that very important service of providing power to the country. In Niger, there's a lot of organic upside associated with firstly delivering the R3 East development, but secondly recommencing exploration activity. That basin has a 4 out of 5 success rate throughout its history, which is very, very high for exploration. We have a very large, well over 100 prospect bank. So not only do we have upside that will deliver cash flows, we have upside that will backfill and significantly, almost exponentially expected to increase our reserve base in that country once we've got the cash flows and we start to re-explore again in Niger. And then the Chad Cameroon acquisition, there's a lot of information out there in our investor presentation, but as you can see, that's completely transformational, and we think we would expect to be able to hopefully increase the baseline level of production and the throughput through the pipe, which we would also expect to be material. So that'd be the second reason. The first is the quality of the assets. The second is the quality of the organic growth that we think we can deliver in that asset base. And then the third is, we've talked about it before, there's over $100 billion of assets up for sale in the global oil and gas industry. Within the West African context, there's very few companies, we believe, that have the operating capability, the relationships with the stakeholders, the access to the capital, and the passion to make it all work. And we think that when you put that all together, that is going to create a lot of value. The one thing I didn't talk about, but I have said that we'll be talking more about the first 6 months of this year, is also the move that we're making towards greenfield renewable energy project. And we'll be talking more about that in the future. But again, that's an area that is potentially very exciting for our business. So there's a lot going on, and we expect to continue that. I think more and more people are starting to understand what the vision is here.
Marvellous stuff. Andrew, good to chat to you as always, and no doubt, like you said, lots going on, so no doubt be catching up in the not too distant future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
The Vox Markets Podcast with Justin Waite. Nothing in this podcast is intended as investment advice, and the people in this podcast may hold positions in the stocks they talk about. Do not buy anything based solely on a tip or recommendation. Please do your own research.